This is a defensive line's dream and a quarterback's nightmare. I mean,
you think they should move him around, right? You think that you blame the coordinator for this.
You don't have a plan for if your offensive line can't block.
Which they should have, since their offensive line hasn't blocked all year for this kid.
At some point, you have to say, look, we're going to sprint you out, move you around, and they have not done it. So, yes, I blame the coordinator.
Seattle back with it on first down. Seneca Wallace's toss is complete to the 36-yard line to Jackson. Stuart Schweigert made the tackle, a first down gain of 17.
I like the way he operates the game. I like the decisions he makes when he wants to run with the football. He's very decisive. Excellent feet. The way you judge quarterbacks' accuracy is by their feet. He sets, play action, plants right foot, shuffle, slide, and fire. And look at the anticipation. You see he led Darrell Jackson out in front of him so he could run to the ball away from the defender.
The flag is down as Seattle with movement from Tom Ashworth again.
False start, 68, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
He's the former Patriot who got his first Seattle start against Kansas City last week. Sean Locklear, who's normally in there as a starter at tackle, is out with a left ankle injury.
Randy Moss conversing with his quarterback, trying to figure out how Walter can get the ball to Moss.
I think you have to throw the ball down the field at least 2-3 times a game and allow Randy Moss to use his athletic ability to go make a play. If you don't, it doesn't help the offense.
Maurice Morris with the carry. Lance Johnstone the tackle, just a yard. So here at the halfway point of the season, the Seahawks with a win would get to 5-3. That would be tied for the 4th best for all that has gone wrong in the first half of the year. With Atlanta, the Falcons losing in Detroit yesterday. You see the Giants and the Saints, certainly one of the great stories of the first half at 6-2. And the Bears suffered their first defeat to the one win before that, Miami Dolphins in Chicago yesterday.
Not only will the Seahawks get to be 5-3, but their players are coming back within the next couple of weeks.
And they have St. Louis next week, who is chasing them in the division.
St. Louis 4-4 right now. Wallace gets it to Max Strong, who gets taken down by Sam Williams, who's finally healthy and playing some good football for this Raider team.
Back one other point on Seneca Wallace. Because he's only 5'11", it's difficult at times for receivers to see him in the pocket when he throws the ball in the middle of the football field. Does a nice job of moving around. But the thing he can do is he can create. You know, he just slides left, slides right, and has that type of a pocket presence where he can become visible to the receivers he's throwing the football to.
Joe, if you take all the active quarterbacks and the guys on rosters, there are 102 in the NFL. He's the shortest listed at 5'11". Got rid of it in time. Darrell Jackson made one-man miss and shown the sideline by Tyrone Poole, the veteran, at the 40.
Maybe if he wore lifts, that would work for him.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
How about a pogo stick back there?
No, you know what it is? You play at that height. I had this conversation with Doug Flutie a lot. And you don't know anything but to play at that height. So
that's the height you are.
That's it. Yeah. And to try and think you're going to be any taller isn't going to work. So you learn to adapt to where you are. It's like Matt Hasselbeck, much taller guy.
As Parcells says, you are what you are. Heaviest rain of the night in-game is falling, thus the strongest wind, and Plackemeyer's kick goes nowhere. Line of scrimmage was the 40, and this is only going to be a kick of about less than 20 yards. Tony, your email here at espn.com. Seneca Wallace against Andrew Walter tonight. Would you rather watch Mike Wallace against Barbara Walter?
That is tempting. I have to say that's tempting, but, you know, I don't know that that could go a full half in the way that this is going a full half. What I think needs to be said is all that we've talked about with Seneca Wallace, we've just about run out. Unless we know people that went to grade school with him who can come into the booth, we are almost talked out on Seneca Wallace.
We have more.
Speak for yourself.
Michelle has more.
Michelle has more.
Good.
Raiders took over in similar field position last time. Walter has been sacked 7 times. Overthrown, intended for Randall Williams.
You get the opportunity to have a receiver wide open so infrequently, it looks like, in this offense, that when you get one like that, you have to be able to complete the pass. The line gave him time to be able to make the delivery and the throw. He just overthrew the receiver, period.
Got rid of it to avoid an 8th sack. Shuffled it out to Alvis Whitted. He'll be shy of the first down. Well, we mentioned that he's been sacked officially 7 times tonight. Here's the NFL record. Most sacks in the game. The sack as a team stat was calculated starting 43 seasons ago. 12 the last time it happened, the Oilers against the Cowboys. The quarterback then, Warren Moon, who's in the booth to our left, the radio analyst for the Seahawks, the Hall of Fame.
He's honored again on the Warren Moon victory tour.
Trying to beat the 2-minute warning. Does not. This play will be called off, and we have the 2-minute warning. Well, the next completion in this game is a milestone. And I'm not going to tell you what it is till you come back.
Oh. Do I have that fantasy?
Honey, what's Peter Forsberg doing in our bed?
Oh, he's just here to remind you that the season started. Hey, Peter, can you get the light?
Sure.
Can't get up for this kind of game. Lord have mercy. Might not have a heartbeat.
It was Hart that carried the Steelers through a playoff run unlike any in NFL history.
Here we go. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Mission accomplished, and it's on to Detroit. As the 6th seed, the Steelers take the bumpy road to the Super Bowl. But they, to their credit, have turned the bumpy road into a road of glory.
Remind you that from Seattle, the Lexus halftime show is up next. Chris Berman, Steve Young, Michael Irvin, Tom Jackson, and Stuart Scott, all here in the Great Northwest. Fastest 3 minutes, jacked up, and Michael Strahan injury update in advance of that Giants-Bears showdown next week. Lexus halftime show coming up.
Really? Doesn't rain, huh? Could have fooled me.
Yeah, well, when I look at it, fooling me too.
This is the hardest rain of the night. Well, guys, 37 years of Monday Night Football, 567 games. There have been 19,999 pass completions in Monday Night Football history.
All right.
The next one is 20,000. Oh, my goodness. Penalty marker down. Play is stopped. Although the Seahawks are picking it up, Bryce Fisher was getting it. And the Seahawks want to know why the play was whistled dead.
False start.
Quarterback.
Prior to a snap. Number 16. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
Now, this is interesting to me because quarterbacks line up in the shotgun and walk towards the line of scrimmage. See what he's doing? He's trying to go forward to go under center.
Why is he not allowed to do that?
Well, a lot of quarterbacks walk forward, they walk back.
Right.
Nobody's ever called for going
Peyton
forward.
Manning does that all the time
Exactly.
to talk to his linemen.
Exactly.
Why would that not be a bad snap, a fumble, and a possible touchdown?
I'll bet you I will have an answer for you
I don't know. Mike Holmgren is
before the next half.
Mike Holmgren's making the same inquiry on the sideline as well. In any case, the flag is only a 5-yard penalty, a huge break, 3rd and 8. And Walter's pass is deflected and incomplete. It was intended for Ronald Curry. And Leroy Hill, second-year backer out of Clemson, dropped back in coverage. Punt coming up.
That could be Walter's chance at history, the 20,000th completed pass. It looks like it's not going to be him now.
Seneca Wallace.
And I know you have more at the ready about Seneca for us, don't you?
I'm ready. Whatever you need, partner.
Punt 6 for Leckler. Nate Burleson back to receive. Leckler kicking with the win. And it goes all 57 yards, net of 37. Seattle takes over at the 20. Those of you just tuning in, let's update you on what's happened here as we wrap up week 9 of the NFL season. The Raiders have allowed 7 sacks in the first half. NFL record for a team in a game since they've been keeping track is a dozen. Deion Branch caught a touchdown on the first drive for Seattle. The Super Bowl 39 MVP has 2 catches. Seneca Wallace, in his second start for the injured Matt Hasselbeck, has been very effective and poised here tonight. Seattle scoring on its first 3 possessions, and Mike Holmgren's team trying to get to 5-3 and maintain a 1-game lead on St. Louis in the division, has just stymied the Raiders, who have 50 total yards compared to the 97 they had all of last week, or 98, I should say.
On pace to crush it then. On pace for 100.
Seattle has 2 timeouts left with $1:45 to go. And Wallace's pass to Branch is ruled a catch on the field.
Obviously, they're not going to stop the game and take the ball out of play, even though it's the 20,000th catch in Monday Night Football history.
It will stand, as it was not buzzed down from the replay booth to look at it, so it is the 20,000th reception in Monday Night, or completion in Monday Night Football history, and Darrell Jackson gets 20,001.
Who gets the ball? Does the quarterback or the receiver get the ball on such a historic occasion? Or do we split the ball in half?
We get it. We're Monday Night Football.
We put it on your bus, cut it in half, and use it for dip for the rest of the season. Well, we told you the weather's getting poorer here. Michelle's down on the field. Michelle?
Yeah, you mentioned how hard the rain is falling, but also the gusts of wind are really picking up. Earlier, they seemed to be higher. Now it's just all over this field, swirling, and you can't anticipate when the gusts are coming, which has to make it tough on a quarterback or perhaps a kicker later on before we finish the half. But what's remarkable is how well this field is holding up. It's a turf field. It drains incredibly well. There is absolutely no risk of slippage that I can see. It's got great traction for as much water as it has soaked up today. But I see the #1 issue down here, guys, as being this wind. It is tough, and it is gusty and unpredictable.
Yeah, Michelle, you can see from the design and the aerial shots, 70% of the fans are covered in this stadium, and for their best comfort tonight, their luck, the closed end of the stadium, which is to the right as you watch, the wind is coming that way, so the fans are not getting hit in the face with the rain as they would if it was a northwesterly wind. Wallace, what a grab by Branch.
What a throw by Seneca Wallace. I talked to Jim Zorin earlier tonight, and I said, what do you really like about Seneca Wallace? He said, I like everything. I said, well, give me a couple things. He said, I like his accuracy and his quick feet. That time he got his feet around to make the throw.
First down from the 47, Max Strong, 3 to midfield. Morris in the tackle, 45 seconds, 1 timeout remaining.
Not to get too carried away, it doesn't, I mean, he could be great tonight, but when Hasselbeck is ready, he's coming back, and Seneca Wallace is taking a seat no matter what happens.
Dropped by Jackson with 31 seconds to go. Wallace is 14 of 20 passing tonight.
And he's really spreading the ball around. As you think back over the first half, he's hit Max Strong as a back. He's tried to get the ball to Jeremy Stevens, the tight end. He dropped one in the end zone, thrown the ball to Deion Branch on one side of the field, Darrell Jackson on the other.
You know the biggest surprise of the first half? That it's not 40-0.
That's right.
You know?
And that's a credit to the Raider defense, which has really kept them in games. And Seneca has spread the ball around, as you see. To running backs, he's dumped it off to his wide receivers on both sides of the field and to tight ends.
Play clock ran down, and Seattle is going to have to take its final timeout. Mike Holmgren threw his play sheet in disgust at the inability to get that one going.
You wanted more about Seneca?
I bet it's coming now.
I got it for you. His mobility. When he feels the pressure, he has an idea where he wants to go. Not only does he slide left to right, but he can come up inside. I like his thought process, too, also, of taking care of himself, not taking that unnecessary hit. He's a well-put-together guy and moves around very well. You see how quickly he gets the ball out.
Do you know his favorite food or his favorite actor or anything else?
No, but I'm not sure what street he lives on either. But I will. I'll find those out for you.
Well, I mean, because we have a second half to go.
I think he's playing very well.
He is.
And Tony made a good point. When Matt comes back.
Yeah, he's the quarterback.
But he is doing the job that a backup quarterback is supposed to do. Go win a game you should win.
Well, these two starts could be the difference of making the playoffs, not making the playoffs. Have a home game here, and we saw last year in the playoffs. This is such a tough environment to win in. It's third down, out of the timeout. They have no timeouts left. And incomplete as he was hit trying to get it to Deion Branch. I believe Tommy Kelly may have hit his arm on the follow-through. And a punt coming with 26 to go.
That's a case where trying to throw over the middle creates a problem for a guy 5'11". Take a taller quarterback like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady. They're above it, and they can get their arm up and get the ball out.
So are you saying that if you're short, you have to go to the side?
Try to, yes. Yeah. It's easy. It's actually easier for the receivers to see you and easier for you to make the throws.
Plaquemire really has struggled kicking in this quarter into the wind, only 20 yards last time. You forget directional kicking at this point. Just get it out of there. Be safe. The net will be 30. Raiders will take over at the 20. Their own 20 with 18 seconds remaining till halftime. Lexus halftime show is ahead. If Chris, Steve, Michael, Tommy, and Stu, the fastest 3 minutes, jacked up the top play from this past week, and the injury update on the Giants' Michael Strahan. Of course, the Giants already have Osi Umenyiora, who injured his hip in the Dallas game we had, and LeVar Arrington, who tore his Achilles and lost for the season. So the Giants defense injury update. Lexus halftime show coming up.
The last game they were without Amani Toomer and Plaxico Burress on the offensive
Maybe
side.
If they didn't do all those jump shots, they wouldn't hurt themselves.
Raiders will take a knee and will take it to the locker room as sheets of rain come down here at halftime. Oakland will get the ball first, and that's about the best thing we can say for their offense in the first half. They total only 50 yards, 7 sacks, and they trail Seattle 13-0. Now we send it to the corner of the end zone, and Chris Berman for the Lexus halftime show. Boomer.
Hockey's not. Welcome back to Seattle, everybody. Sunday's perfect play is voted by you, the fans. The Foxborough third quarter, you saw it. Colts lead 17-14, but Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, beautiful. Colts win 27-20. Now let's check in with Stuart Scott with more football news. I'm concerned about one of my fellow Brown alums, Stu.
Hey, Boom, no worries. Some players might be out 2 to 4 weeks, but Joe Pa won't miss one. Joe Paterno had surgery on Sunday to repair his broken leg and torn knee ligaments that he suffered during Penn State's 13-3 loss to Wisconsin. Still, the 79-year-old Joe Pa still plans to coach this Saturday, looking for career win number 361 when the Nittany Lions host Temple. In other football news, the Bears and the Giants will go at it next Sunday night. Both suffered key injuries on defense yesterday. Giants DN Michael Strahan will be out 2 to 4 weeks with the sprained foot, and Bears linebacker Brian Urlacher sprained big toe in his left foot, the reigning defensive player of the year. He plans to play in Sunday's NFC showdown at the Meadowlands. On to baseball, where the Texas Rangers hire Ron Washington to take over as skipper. The former A's coach inked a 2-year deal, his first managerial job at the big league level. Seahawks are rolling over that Raiders 13-0. In the last 6 quarters, Oakland has 148 total yards offense. That's it.
By the new LS, unprecedented. All new LS.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Seattle. The night before Election Day around the country. A reminder, spend a moment tomorrow. Go to the polls. It's your right, and it's your wonderful opportunity. I know you're jacked up about that, Tom. Speaking of which.
Absolutely jacked up about the elections and jacked up about the picks that we had tonight. We're going to start with number 5, the Rams and the Chiefs. Steven Jackson going to be getting the pass, going to be trying to get to the end zone. Patrick Surtain and Sammy Knight going to light him up right there. Steven Jackson got jacked up. Kevin Jones running over Jason Webster. Right there, let's take one more look at it. And Jason Webster got jacked up. Number 3, Ben Troop. Clint Ingram gonna put him in his sights. Nail him right there, nail him one more time. right there. Ben Troop got jacked up. Number 2, outstanding quarterback, Eli Manning to Jeremy Shockey from the U. And that's Glenn Earl. Glenn Shockey, jacked up. Willie Parker, number 1. Meet Al Wilson. Meet Al Wilson again. And meet Al Wilson again as he walks off. Willie Parker says, I got jacked up.
Randy Moss, T.O., they're dropping it. Steve Largent never dropped these balls. Mike, 13-0 at the half. We'll be back.
These guys look fantastic. I'm so proud.
Join the Reebok Hockey Revolution. Visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
You can't wrap them up against allergies, but you can treat almost every allergic reaction with Piriton. Piriton, for the family's allergies.
NFC champion, Seattle Seahawks, in the rain here at Quest Field in Seattle, leading 13-0. Mike Tirico, Joe Theismann, Tony Kornheiser, Michelle Tafoya. Our colleague Susie Culber back at home. She'll be back with us here, or in Carolina, I should say, next Monday night. The rain continues coming down as heavy as it has throughout the playing of the game in the last half hour. Andrew Walter, Randy Moss, and Art Shell's offense will get on the field after the Seahawks get the ball to start the third. Sebastian Janikowski's first action of the night is a kickoff touchback. Seattle gets it at the 20, and we check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, I spoke with Mike Holmgren just a moment ago. He was disappointed by a couple of first-half penalties, but all in all, he said they're doing pretty well. Seneca, he said, quote, is doing fine. One of the things I almost jokingly asked him was on defense, how much more pressure can you put on this Raiders quarterback? He said, we're going to keep coming. We're going to keep coming. I don't care how many times we sack him. Mike?
Yeah, 7 sacks in the first half.
Bryce Fisher said they have a young quarterback, and when he gets hit, that changes everything. It's not like Wednesday or Thursday when they let you throw the ball.
A little bit easier in practice. So Wallace takes over from the 20. A gain of about 4 yards for Maurice Morris, who's had a decent night tonight.
Tony, you wanted more on Seneca Wallace? Here you go. This is the height we're talking about. As he rolls out, you can see, you can't see him. He's only 5'11", and you see the defensive line and the linebackers move. Does a nice job of getting around. As Warren Sapp comes in, he gets an arm up, and but he's learned to deal with it.
What about putting a red nose on his helmet or a red light or something like that, like a taxi cab?
He's usually the guy with the ball.
Morris almost able to break it into the clear. Stuart Schweigert finally pulls him down, but a gain of 16 yards as Morris gets close to 100 yards. It's been a while since Seattle's been able to run the ball in the absence of Sean Alexander, with the offensive line trying to get patched together, and that was an important thing for Mike Holmgren coming in tonight.
He wanted to run the football more. Well, I saw Gil Haskell, the offensive coordinator, so we really have to run the football better. They're working towards making this a cohesive unit. When they get Sean Alexander back, that will be a step. But it's up to the offensive line to create the opportunities.
Playing the Raiders is like a homecoming game. Everything becomes easier. They haven't run the ball all year. We talked about Steve Hutchinson earlier, and we talk about him. We're held hostage by Steve Hutchinson. Every single game we talk about this guy. But his absence hurt this team more than it has helped Minnesota, because they were under 3 yards a carry basically without him.
But it wasn't just Steve Hutchinson. They lost Joe Juravicius, who's a tremendous downfield blocker. They lost Ryan Hannon, the tight end, who was an excellent blocker on the second level. So it's more than just Steve Hutchinson.
Hannon went to Dallas, got hurt, out for the season, but a good blocking tight end. Here's Wallace rolling and throwing one more time to DJ Hackett into Raider territory at the 38. First down, gain of 22.
The difference between Seneca Wallace and Andrew Walter is Seneca Wallace has the ability and is being asked to get outside. Does a really nice job getting the ball in position to make the throw right away. He doesn't take time. He rolls out, gets his hips turned, his shoulders turned. Bang, the ball gets out in a heartbeat.
3 catches tonight, 14 on the season for Hackett. 5th-round draft pick 2 years ago out of Colorado. Morris pursued, and can I get back to the original line? Michael Huff brings him down. First rookie safety to start for the Raiders since Jack Tatum.
The thing you want to look at from a quarterback's perspective is how is he making the defense defend the field? And Seneca's making them defend it from sideline to sideline, working basically deep up the right side. We saw the touchdown pass to Deion Branch. Under 15 yards, 7 passes to the left, 4 in the middle, 8 to the right. And you see his 8 to the right,
You're
7
developing
to the left.
a man crush on him as this game goes on.
I had that one in
yes, you are.
Bledsoe in the preseason.
And that didn't work out
that
well.
very well.
And Wallace forced to burn a timeout here. Seahawks driving, leading 13-0.
Barber the tailback. Manning handoff right for Barber. Cuts it at the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. Tika to the 45. Fighting the midfield. Spins up a tackle. Breaks right to the outside. Down the right sideline. Sinks a tackle to the 30. Runs out of another tackle at the 25. Runs out of yet another. Still on his feet. He refuses to go down. He wants to go one way into the end zone.
Well, even with the inclement weather, that is a mode of transportation. So many ferries here in the Seattle area. Traffic can be very difficult in Seattle, but this is a beautiful city and really has become one of the toughest places to play in the league.
A lot of people live on the islands that are away, come across the sound. Work here in Seattle.
Out of the Seattle called timeout, 2nd and 11. And Strong can't get anything going, actually lost a yard. So Seattle's trying to get off this list. And everybody said before this season, well, there's no way Seattle's going to follow the Giants and the Rams and the Raiders and the Panthers and the Eagles, all those teams who lost the Super Bowl. And the hangover was they didn't make the playoffs. But it's the ultimate example of you never know. Who thinks that the Pro Bowl quarterback and running back are going to get hurt, and you're going to be 4-3, and Seattle's trying to avoid extending that to 6 consecutive years.
Injuries play a part. Mike Holmgren said, and I'm quoting now, you worry that they come back with endorsements and books and radio shows, and they kind of forget what got them to the Super Bowl in the first place. So complacency plays a part.
3rd and a dozen. Wallace's throw is incomplete. He has a lot going here with Hackett. Just couldn't haul that in. It will be 4th down and likely a punt.
Having said that, Mike Holmgren also said, I do not expect this team to fall into that category. And he talked about getting Alexander back and getting Hasselbeck back. And the upcoming schedule for Seattle is not all that difficult.
No, they're teams that they match up very well against. And the other thing is, this is a very young team. You haven't seen a lot of endorsements from various players on that football team. The other thing is, when we look at the Eagles and Panthers specifically, Stephen Davis was hurt for Carolina, lost a running back, and Donovan last year, so major injuries.
By the way, the Steelers aren't getting back, and they won it.
Michaelmeyer to punt. Punting with the wind, making it even tougher to get close. that had no chance of being down, just a 20-yard net. This was coming out of the locker room after halftime. Randy Moss talking to Art Shell. Get me going, because one big play and the Raiders are back in it.
Already a star, Sean Alexander became the brightest in 2005. As he won his first NFL rushing title and scored 28 touchdowns, an NFL single-season record.
And number 37, the record.
He carried Seattle to its first Super Bowl.
ESPN's Monday Night Football is brought to you by Cadillac, Life, Liberty, and The Pursuit. Capital One, what's in your wallet? The LeBrons and NikeBasketball.com. And DLP, HD TV powered by DLP. It's amazing. It's the mirrors.
Something you may not have known about Seattle, the Seattle Underground network of passageways beneath the city. This city was originally built 12 feet lower than it is now. Daily tidewaters would wash through the streets. After the Great Fire in Seattle in 1869, they rebuilt the city a story or two higher, but it's still there for tourists.
Smart move.
Andrew Walter sacked 7 times in the first half. An offense that had less than 50 yards in the first half. A completion to Randy Moss. Right near the first down at the 30-yard line. We're talking about Walter and being sacked 7 times. We told you the record, since they've been keeping track of it, is 12 by one team in one game. But the individual being sacked 7 times in the first half, most by an NFL player since the opener for the Jets in '96, when Neil O'Donnell was taken down 7 times. That was Rich Kotite, the coach. Opening game, they went 1-15 that year. Parcells replaced Kotite the next year. A Lamont Jordan run. First down, Oakland. Here's Michelle.
Well, I spoke with Art Shell at halftime, and he was simply at a loss for words about the protection his quarterback is not receiving. I asked him how he can give him more. He closed his eyes for a minute, shook his head slowly, and said, I don't know what more we can do. We've used 7-man protections. We've used a variety of drops. Our guys just have to do a better job. I mean, this is a Hall of Fame lineman who is just dismayed and discouraged as they come at halftime, Mike.
Yeah, Michelle, they have 160 yards of offense in the last 6 quarters of football. That time, Walter got some time. Nothing open downfield. He's brought down. If it's shy of the line of scrimmage, it'll be another sack. Grant Wistrom for the second time.
Grant Wistrom only had 1 sack prior to it. Hasn't been really getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And when I visited with him yesterday, he simply said, we just haven't played with a lot of fire. Well, you look at the way the linebackers are coming, you look at the way the defensive line is hustling. This defense is playing with a lot more enthusiasm than they have earlier this year.
Officially credited as a sack, number 8 on the night. Wistrom has doubled his sack total on the season here. More pressure. Nobody picked it up. Little screen with Jordan. And Lamont's a yard shy of the first down. Julian Peterson brings him down for the tackle. Well, Lamont Jordan was brought in with a free agent deal a couple of seasons ago, start of last season, with the hopes that he would become the Raiders' dominant back. It's been a long time since the Raiders have had a dominant back, and Joe, here's a guy who backed up Curtis Martin with the Jets for 4 years and was productive in that role.
And when we had a chance to talk to him, he talked about getting back to the way he played, for being a great mentor. He says, I have to play the way I played there. That's why they signed me here.
3rd and less than a yard. Shovel pass behind Jordan. Incomplete forward pass. 4th down. The Raiders can't even complete a shovel pass now.
Well, I don't like that call at all. You have 3rd down and less than a yard. Lamont Jordan picked up a first down for you on the last 3rd and short. Now you try a shuffle pass to try and get cute. Just start to develop some type of a rhythm.
Here's what Lamont Jordan said yesterday, because we were looking to find out who to blame here, and he said, we can't protect the quarterback, we can't pick up the blitz, we've dropped passes, we've had false starts. Before we criticize the coordinator, the players ought to look in the mirror. I mean, it's easy to say the schemes are bad, but the execution is no good as well.
He's right, but you can help with the schemes.
The big-legged Shane Leckler kicks into the wind. 42 yards returnable. Nate Burleson from the 15. Brought down after just a return of 4 yards. Thomas Howard, the linebacker, with the tackle. Aggravation, frustration for the Raiders again.
Nurofen, fast, targeted relief for pain.
Freedom for backs. New heat patches from Nurofen.
5'9" Steve Smith has emerged as the NFL's premier scoring threat. Don't believe me? He'll tell you.
If you say this ugly face, that means I score.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know what to tell you about Steve Smith.
Steve Smith, touchdown.
Taking candy from a baby. I know somebody.